Now, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to spreading the word about the Arab Spring, and when it came to spread the word about the Arab Spring, the social media site Twitter was instrumental in getting that message out. Twitter, of course, has also been a major platform for the Occupy Wall Street movement to spread its messages. At first, when the site refused to release tweets of protesters on the Brooklyn Bridge to authorities, but it seemed as if that last stand between protesters and the government was finally playing out, this time in the form of Twitter. But today, that line has fallen. Twitter released the tweets of Malcolm Harris, who's been charged with disorderly conduct, along with 700 others, for their actions on October 1st, 2011. For an update on this Twitter swear-off, RT web producer and our web guru, Andrew Blake, joins me now.
Megan?
All right, Andrew, break down the latest on this case.
Okay, well, this has been going on, like you said, since October 1st. If you remember, Occupy movement really started in mid-September up in New York. A few weeks go by, 700 people go on the Brooklyn Bridge. 1,000 people on Brooklyn Bridge. 700 arrested, including Malcolm Harris, who's a mid-20s writer from Brooklyn. Now, he was arrested along with, 700 or so others, and he was charged with disorderly conduct for ignoring police orders to get off the bridge. Now, it's been almost a year now, and this case has been repeatedly brought up over and over again in court because the prosecutors want to see his deleted tweets. They want to see his record of what he was doing on Twitter for a couple of months before and after the event on October 1st, because they want to say that, well, we have knowledge that he knew that he was breaking the law because he might have been tweeting to someone, like maybe through his deleted tweets, he made plans to go one more step on the bridge or something like that. So they want to be able to say, okay, you knew this, and because of that, we're going to charge you this $500 fine for disorderly conduct. But in the meanwhile, this case has been dragging on for months and months and months, and finally today, Twitter couldn't do it anymore. They had appealed over and over again. They tried to fight it, and a judge in New York pretty much said, look, you can give us this material that this person created, then destroyed, and didn't want anyone to see. You can give us that, or if you don't, we're going to fine you a lot of money. So Twitter has been putting up a fight for the last couple of months, and God bless them, they're doing a really good job. They've said that we're going to keep fighting to make sure that if you tweet something, it belongs to you. And the prosecutors tried taking him through the whole legal gauntlet, and it was a fair game, and it looks like it finally lost. So today, Twitter handed over those tweets. So which says that if you do something on the internet, even if you get rid of it, even if it's just something about conspiring for a disorderly conduct charge. Not that why would he even tweet that? But yeah, that can be brought into court even months, if not a year later.
But Andrew, I have to ask you, once you put something out on Twitter, I mean, you can have people following you that you have no idea who they are. Once you put something out in a public domain like that, are you or are you not effectively releasing your rights to it?
That's what the judge was saying, that if you tweet something, it's essentially the same thing as just opening up the window and screaming. You are just saying, this is what I'm doing, this is it. And Twitter, and the ACLU, and the EFF, they were all saying, well, not necessarily, this person who tweets it, they should own that. They should be able to control the copyright. They should be able to control where their information goes. If they choose to delete it, good on them. They have deleted it. The court won and said, no, that's not exactly the case. And it's only like one of the several examples we saw this week of finally the court getting their way in terms of being able to, I don't want to say destroy the internet, but there's a really unfortunate week as far as freedom of speech and the First Amendment goes with internet rights. Not just the case of Malcolm Harris, but we go back to, I believe, Wednesday, the House reapproved the FISA amendments of 2008 Act. So as long as that clears the Senate and then the Oval Office, which that means is the government for another 5 years is going to be able to do, well, they can essentially watch everything that you do on the computer for another 5 years. So that's happening. Twitter's doing that. It's pretty much, this was a really, really bad week for the internet.
I've heard you say that a couple times today, Andrew.
I'm upset. I'm really upset because I work on the internet. I am the internet. I do all of my stuff on there. I've been doing stories for the last couple of days where I've been communicating with sources who don't feel comfortable talking on the internet anymore. We'll have to use, special chat clients using off-the-record encryption, or some people don't even want to talk on the computer because we're worried that we're being monitored. And I shouldn't feel that way as a journalist that I should be able to go out there and find out, people should be able to talk to me. They should feel free, they should feel open. They should not be worried that because they're expressing their concerns about different, political ideas, that they're going to be persecuted for them. But that's exactly what's happening. Maybe if Malcolm Harris was breaking law, I don't know, I wasn't there, but were his tweets really that relevant to this case? Like, is this really worth the fight to install this fear that anything you do on the internet really isn't safe? I mean, a lot of people already think that with just legislation that's been trying to push on us for the last couple of years, especially this year. But yeah, I'll say it again, it was a really bad week for the internet.
And go ahead and talk about the ACLU case that we've got. I know they requested a FOIA request.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about that.
So off and online, things were really bad this week. The ACLU filed a FOIA request months and months ago because they wanted to see what was happening with FBI surveillance of the Occupy Wall Street movement, specifically up in Northern California. The FBI followed through and they said, okay, we'll let you know what we've been doing. They honored their FOIA request. They provided them with some documents, but they said, all right, half of these you can't see because it would be a national security issue. So we know that the government wants to be able to see what you delete on your computer. They want to be able to bring it up into court to use it for, prosecuting someone for a $500 fine. And we know that off the computer, the FBI is watching your political activities, and they're not going to tell you about it. They'll acknowledge it, which they just did, but we have no idea what they're doing. We do know that they're monitoring you off and on the computer, and it's a really bad week.
Yeah, from what you're hearing, what you're saying, I think I have to agree with you. So from everything from Twitter to privacy to the ACLU and even to this FISA thing, it seems the only thing can be certain is that you're probably going to be monitored in some type of way, and that you should definitely be careful with what you write on the internet, and more importantly, what you read on the internet.
Yeah, just encrypt everything or use a courier pigeon, one or the other.
All right, Andrew Blake, RT Web producer, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.